My individual practice is mostly focused on that which we can't see. So it's electromagnetic forces in the world and translating them into sound, and also evidencing, I guess, the size and shape of those kinds of forces, and then also looking at antenna. So I've become really interested in antenna and the possibility for sculptural antenna. And that's taken me into mathematics and fractals and looking at various kinds of relationships between form and function.
My practice, initially began with painting and quite specifically sort of an interest in colour-filled painting. And at the same time, I started to work with the moving image, and at that point, I think my practice changed into something which was a much more diverse range of activities. And I think that that's what characterises a contemporary artist, the ability to step out of a medium and work across ideas. And so it spans from, video, object, photographs, and also quite unusually, I work with aroma. So, some people will define their practice by an interest in technology. I'm as much interested in the technology, these traditional technologies, as I am in digital technologies. And we're just lucky to have a practice where no one tells us that that's not okay, right? And I think that that's what's so great about being an artist in this era. There might be some minuses, and a lot of people complain about culture and how it operates, but as an artist, I have the choice to go wherever I like. And that's why I'm an artist. I like that freedom. And I think that it's a very unique discipline in that sense, in that it doesn't matter what you do. You could mount a political protest, or you could build a strange looking object, or hybridize something, and it's all allowed to be art.
Some of the ideas that we've been interested in over the years include strange forces, invisible forces, the electromagnetic environment that surrounds us, the electromagnetic landscape, things that we can generate inside computer space, things that we can experience outside in the landscape, and the tension and relationship between walking in the landscape, pack rafting, canyoning, doing all the things we do in the Blue Mountains, has this relationship to what we do inside the computer as well. And that, in our collaborative practice, that relationship probably is the strongest one, because the collaboration allows us to work together and to travel and explore the environment together. And it is the environment outside of us and the environment inside of computer space that we generally work with in the collaborative practice.
A lot of this work is actually accessing a part of the electromagnetic spectrum, and once you start to see the world through the electromagnetic spectrum, everything changes. So we have different eyes now. We used to see this table as being solid, but our practice has told us that the table's not solid at all. It's actually a bunch of energy that holds up in a particular way. And that sounds like hard science. And it's great for scientists to have that understanding. They understand it in the abstract, and they understand it through the devices they make. But we understand that through aesthetics. That's it. Are we an arm of science? No, because they would never, they see us as artists. Are scientists artists? No, they're not. But there is this conversation. There is this dimension that sort of somehow runs between those two places. We've never relied on a consensus. One person will give up and allow that to allow something to exist, or someone will argue very strongly for a certain sort of thing to happen. And In a collaborative, a long-term collaboration, I think you actually need the resilience of a relationship between the two parties to be able to wear things that they don't necessarily agree with. And I think that's, you know, that's just my sort of experience of it. It's like making art is like friendly war, but by the time the work appears, it's not you anymore anyway, and so you can let go of the things that you might have felt very precious about in the process, and that's what's allowed us to survive it. Every time we make a work, I feel like we learn a new trade of some sort. And I think that would characterise all of the works in some way or another, most of them anyway. So for example, with Geology, you know, we're learning gaming engine technology. We don't have a studio full of artisans who are skilled in that way. We just do it ourselves for better or worse. It adds a high stress level to the whole process. But every work's a kind of adventure in that sense. So we just get hold of things and then we go for it. But we're not using the technology as a starting point in a way. Often there are really strong ideas to start with, and then we work out what the tool set is. And we could go from the wood workshop down there to the computer and back out again, and it'll all circulate around.
Geology is a real-time navigatable environment that's been built in a game engine. And it is the third time that we've worked with the game engine to make a navigable environment. It began with an invitation from the Christchurch Gallery, which was earthquaked in the major earthquakes. The gallery was emptied of all its contents, and it's full of kind of minor cracks, but it's still completely under self-surveillance. And we're invited to make an artwork that might respond to that. It's taken us a very long time to make that work because it's such a difficult situation for the people in Christchurch, and we've had to be very sensitive about that. But one of the things that has left us with is this interest in what lies underneath the art gallery, and that the earth itself in its movement.
It works on the premise that all of reality involves some kind of experience of space. There's a cultural landscape that exists inside places like art galleries, and then it also liberates the camera from the cinematographer's position and in a sense hands the camera to the audience. And so each person reframes the world through their own eye, and they in a sense hopefully have some experience of exploration that this thing's unfolding. And so to use a game engine to make an image world, if you like, is, I think this is the future. This is a new kind of cinema here.